Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Mira, and I will be playing Riku today, and with me is the very wonderful.
Uh, yes, that is me. Hi, I'm Fletch. Uh, I was totally not distracted by my dog. Uh, and I'm going to be playing everyone's favorite horrible little 6-year-old detective, Camille. uh, and I'm very excited to be here. And
And I'm excited to have you here. This is going to be a fun interaction, even though my pre-game roles are, oh boy.
oh boy, indeed. Uh, I just, I hold, I hold this poor child. Uh,
Yeah, so Camille, you're on your way to the inn that Riku has been staying in Anvilstown. It's a nice day out. You don't really see anything out of the ordinary, well, except the fact that you have not stumbled upon any murders at all on your way to Riku.
yeah, he's very used to murders happening around him, so the absence of it is actually much weirder.
Uh, yeah, it's like a perfectly normal day, except the fact that a normal day never happens to you.
yeah, like usually there's like kidnapping or some shady dealings or murder or whatever illegal activity, what have you. So
Mm-hmm.
he's just having a time, but you know what?
Everything's fine.
It's fine.
Everything's a little too fine, in your
Just
opinion, because nothing's gone wrong yet.
yeah, just a little too fine. He doesn't know how to feel about this, and he's just going to not think about that actually. Just gonna
Keep
shelve that
on
away
keeping
for
on.
later and go see his go see his friend.
Yep. I'm gonna say that you have visited Riku enough that like you've basically gotten your own little room key for his room. So like the receptionist kind of waves at you as you walk by and head upstairs to where Riku is staying. And just do you knock first?
Um, hmm. You know what? He will knock first. He'll be nice just this once.
Okay, we're just gonna roll. What's your perception, buddy? Okay, that's a +3. +3. Roll that again, because my boy is dealing with a level of exhaustion. So that's at disadvantage. That's a 10. I do say he does hear the knock. Uh, it takes you, uh, well, actually, you kind of hear a tired voice very faintly from the other side of the door. Camille, you can come in.
Oh. Yeah, he is indeed going to enter and probably be a little bit concerned.
Yeah, what you see is there is a little lump on the bed underneath some blankets.
Oh.
And it's just, it kind of moves, and you see a little arm just kind of wave at you and then retreat underneath the blankets.
Oh. Camille is gonna go on up to the bed, kind of like climb up onto it to sit near Riku, like, hey, everything alright?
Eh, fine. I just did something stupid again. And you just kind of the lump kind of shuffles a tiny bit, and then there is a very cartoonish pop as Riku pops his head out from underneath the 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 lump becomes Riku with a head and then blanket.
And Camille is going to definitely not go into Big Brother mode. What are you talking about? Uh, he cannot. He's 6. Um, and he's kind of just gonna squint a little, like, what kind of stupid thing?
Riku just kind of rubs at the back of his head. His hands are still kind of bandaged, but they're very loosely bandaged. There's a lot of freckles that you can see kind of poking through, kind of glowing in the semi-dark of the room because like there's a few lights on, but it's kind of dim lighting, like very soft lighting. So like the you're definitely seeing glowy freckles right now.
Hmm.
And he just kind of blinks at you tiredly, and there's a big kitten yawn that exposes all of his teeth for a moment. And you actually, Camille, how about you roll me perception really quick?
All right. 11.
Okay, with an 11, you just kind of notice that, like, the back, like, the canines, like, you know how canines are kind of, like, slightly pointed? Yeah, no, those are, like, slightly more elongated than normal, but the mouth is now fully shut again, and, Riku kinda rubs at his eyes. It's very obvious he's very tired.
Okay, gonna be honest. My first thought was catboy. uh, but yeah, Camille's just gonna file that away for later. Do not ask him why he keeps a file on every person he knows. Uh, he's a detective. He's just like that, and he's gonna actually get up from the bed to go get Riku some water.
Aw, like, there's like, I kind of imagine this, like, end room is, like, kind of like you know how some hotels will have, like, a tiny, tiny little kitchen area where there's, like, a fridge
Hmm.
and, like, a little sink and a cup, like, in, like, complimentary cups.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're able to fill up a cup of water, no problem.
And he he walks back and kind of uh climbs up again to hand Riku the water, like, feeling alright? You need more rest?
It's just used magic and it went wrong again.
But Camille's just gonna sigh, like like he's used to it. um, or at least used to someone doing stupid stunts that would make them regret things later on. uh, and so yeah, he just sighs like, and why did you use magic?
Because I wanted to see if it would work this time. And it's very obvious he's kind of sulking about it as he takes a sip of his water.
uh,
Just
yeah,
because sometimes I can use my magic fine, and then other times it just goes bleh. And then I feel bleh.
and Hale kind of nods at that, like, can't, you can't can't always do things that health is funny sometimes. It's not always like just because you can do it once means you can do it again. And you you have to learn to work within your limits.
You would think after 2 years I would have figured out my limits. Like, he kinda just mumbles that into his cup.
He'll kind of just reaches over to give him a little gentle pat on the back, because, yeah, this stuff is rough sometimes, and it's just like, well, sometimes the limits aren't always set. It's rough.
Yeah, but I don't really wanna sleep. I wanna hang out with you, just probably not a lot of stressful things like, walking.
Yeah, and Camille kind of nods at that and tries to think up of a good activity. Like, well, is there any non-stressful things you want to do?
Um, Riku is very visibly thinking about this. Just gonna roll to see if he's gonna have the light bulb moment. What's your intelligence modifier, my son? Okay, it's a 2. For our
No.
audience, that was a nat 1. I think he just has a tiny bit too much brain fog right now. He does not have the light bulb moment of, "Oh, maybe we could do arts and crafts."
He's he's a sleepy boy. All right, it's my turn. Okay, this time I'm gonna use my fancy new physical dice because Parser immediately chose violence on me. Uh,
Mood.
and my physical dice has also chosen violence on me. That's a 3.
I feel like the both of them I feel like the both of them just kind of stare at each other for a moment, and,
Yeah.
like, there's just, like, the visible tune dot, 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 as they both are thinking super hard.
Yeah. Listen, he is a detective. He's not good at the normal things. uh,
Okay, I'm gonna just roll one more time, and then if Dice Parser decides to be mean, we can just say peck the dice. Okay, that's a lot better, that's a 13.
Alright.
So, like, eventually, after, like, a period of silence, there is a literal light bulb that kinda goes off above his head, and it's a lot brighter, and it brightens up the room a lot more, leaving both of you kind of to blink a tiny bit before Riku kinda reaches up and takes down the light bulb and kinda, like, screws it a tiny bit so it turns off and goes, "We could do arts and crafts." 'Cause cutting things and doing braids and stuff, if, like, we wanted to make a bracelet or something, it's a lot easier to do hand stuff than just walking around and going to the park.
And Camille nods at that. Like, that's a great idea. And let's see. Gonna roll a history to see if. Because I remember you suggesting maybe it's like a little place they can go to.
Mhm.
Or at the very least, he'll remember a craft store to pick the stuff up, depending on how much activity Riku's up for.
Mhm.
That's
I'll
a.
just really
I'm no longer being bullied.
"Hey!" I'm just gonna really quickly roll, another con just to see how Riku is currently doing. 'Cause
Not
oh,
so good,
buddy.
I would think.
Yeah, no, that was a 2.
Yeah. So Camille kind of looks over at Riku and's like, okay, yeah. we're not going out anywhere today.
Yeah,
And
no, Riku's just very visibly sleepy and tired.
yeah, and he's just like, all right, if you give me a bit, I can go to a craft store nearby and get us some stuff.
Oh, yeah. Um, give me a second, I can help pay for it. And I just need to really quickly look at his inventory really quick because I don't remember. Okay, yeah, okay. Uh, just gonna roll a d10 as he goes digging through his hammer space. That was a 3. No fumble today, folks. And he pulls out a rather sizable uh, sack of gold. And like he kind of just sets it down on the bed. And Riku, Camille, you can kind of feel the bed dip a tiny bit, and he goes digging through and kind of looks up at you and goes, how much are craft stuff again? Do you think 10G would help?
uh, Me sweating as I look over at D&D prices. I have no fucking idea.
Like,
uh,
honestly, I'm just imagining kind of like the thread in of itself is like 1G, and then like the metal stuff that we might want, like for the
mhm,
engravings and stuff, like that could be like 5G or something. So
yeah. So
like
yeah,
total wise, like so it's like 7G total because they're friendship bracelets.
yeah. It's nothing too expensive. It's just friendship bracelets. So Camille kind of just takes maybe 3G from that and is just like, "Yep, I think this should cover it."
Under Riku's breath, he kind of mutters, "Oh, is it like the banana thing?"
The what thing?
Oh, there's a joke back home where some people don't understand economics and they think a banana costs like a lot of stuff. I overestimated.
You actually do get a little snort out of uh out of Camille, like,
Well, I say it's a joke, but some of my uncles really don't understand commerce. Like, they pulled out a gold bar just for a cookie.
and yeah, Camille does kind of laugh at that, like, yeah, no, they they don't. I can see where the banana thing comes into play.
Rika just nods solemnly.
Well, you're not that bad at it, at least. It's fine. And
Well,
he
I got some experience.
Camille kind of nods at that because, you know, Riku is chilling in an inn alone. He would probably pick it up eventually. um, and with that, he kind of hops off the bed and is like, anything you need before I go?"
I think I'm okay. You got me water, and I'm just not planning on moving at all.
You need any snacks or anything?
Um, there is a very considering hum before Riku kind of just shakes his head a little bit. I got breakfast, so I'm good.
He nods at that and, with a little goodbye, heads out of the room to go buy some supplies.
Indeed. I do feel like if we wanted to, we could just do like a cutscene or even a montage.
All right, let's see. Um, what would I roll to see how well he gets supplies?
Hmm. Um, Let's see. What do you roll to shop well?
I guess survival. Alright.
Maybe survival mixed with insight because you're trying to pick stuff out for Riku.
Alright.
Like stuff to represent Riku.
Okay, I think survival and insight would average out to a +6. So,
Mhm.
that's a 17.
Yeah, no, I feel like Camille does a really good job at shopping.
He's got this. And if there's any feral old ladies in the store, they will make sure that he gets the thread he needs.
Yeah, like I picture like that there's like just like a flock of old ladies who like were like picking up yarn or something and see this poor little lost soul trying to find craft supply.
Yes, this
And they
poor
all
little
just kind of
baby.
flock to him and just like help him pick out everything.
Yeah, he'll leave the store with like craft books as well as like the stuff he actually needed. Like
Like I
someone
just kind
snuck
of
a
picture it's like a
butterscotch.
whirlwind. Like, I picture it's, like, just a whirlwind of activity and, like, just, like, after he gets out of the yarn, the craft supply store, his, like, glasses are slightly askew,
Yeah, like
like, very
hair's out of
visibly busy.
place.
You're out of place, visibly looking, like, mildly wobbly because, whoa, that was a whirlwind.
His cheeks are all red from grandma's.
Just pinching his cheek.
And he kind of just sighs, takes a moment to straighten himself out, and then he walks off screen. Because th- this is why shopping as a 6-year-old can be a nightmare sometimes.
All the old grannies, like, flock to you.
Uh, but yeah, he he walks off screen and then comes back on screen through Riku's door,
Yeah.
like uh, triumphantly raising a little baggie full of craft stuff and books. Like, I got the stuff.
Riku's gonna cheer, but he's also gonna roll insight just to see if he notices how disheveled his friend was. Okay, that's a 19. He kind of like pauses for a moment and like,
Uh,
show you around everything.
sorry, I think Discord lost you for a moment.
Oh, darn it. Riku said, uh, did the grannies want to show you everything?
Camille just sighs and rubs one of his cheeks, like, yeah, they sure did. Good thing you didn't come along.
Riku just kind of nods solemnly. You get the impression that Riku too has trouble shopping because he's small.
Yeah, the pitfalls of being small.
Yep. Like I just like, okay, my brain just gave me a really funny idea for a game. You have to, like, get all of your supplies before the grannies notice you and just, like, flock to you.
Craft store heist.
Craft store heist where you, like, you don't even, like, really have combat. It's just you gotta avoid getting pinched by the grannies. Just affectionately, your cheek is pinched and stuff. That would be a really funny one shot. Anyways,
Yeah,
we're getting
yeah, okay. Yeah, so Camille's just, he probably looks around for a moment for something a bit more, uh, solid than the bed that he can bring over.
Mhm. how about you just roll me a quick perception real quick?
Alright.
Or investigation, whichever one's best.
Uh, investigation is best, so that would be that'd be another 17.
Nice. You very quickly see one of the kind of bedside tables that are like big enough to like, you know, hold all of the craft supplies and be able to be your workstation. And you just gotta move the lamp to one side, like put it on the floor, and then you can just drag the table without worrying about anything shattering or anything like that.
Yeah, he definitely does move the lamp first because he at least has a few brain cells. Uh, a little bit tempted to roll strength to see how long it takes him to drag the table over.
Do it. Because I
That's a
imagine it's like probably as big as he is. That is a modified 0 for the audience listening.
2 minus 2.
2 minus 2.
Uh,
Camille's not going anywhere. Like, it's not like Toonie, just you're running in place and the thing that you're trying to shove is not going anywhere.
yeah, after a little while of trying to do this, he kind of just stops, face plants into the table, and you run a world perception to see what he mutters.
Roll perception real quick. Okay, what's your modifier, bud? Okay, plus 3. A 9.
I'm sorry, but he does not. He knows that Camille muttered something. He does not know what Camille muttered. It's just. Okay, the audience does get to know, because the audience asked nicely. Uh, like, he's kind of just face planted into the table and mutters, I hate being 6.
I hold Camille so soft.
He is trying.
Okay, I'm gonna just really quickly roll another con just to see how is Riku doing. Okay,
Oh,
that's a lot. Oh, that's a nat 20. Okay, like I do feel like he is able enough to like kind of wobble to his feet for a little bit, and then we're going to roll strength to see if Riku can assist in
uh,
this
he
endeavor.
he will get the help action, because Camille is at first a little bit uh concerned, like, cause hey,
Okay, I kind of picture it's like they both start doing it, so like they just both are pulling.
yeah, Camille does take a moment to make sure that Riku's okay doing this though, cause
I I will say like after they pull the table over, Riku just kind of flops face first back into bed.
oh, Camille gives him another pat because you really didn't have to, buddy. He appreciates it though.
There is a very audible mutter into the mattress, just you needed help.
And yeah, kind of just sighs at that because he can't fight that. We all saw the experience with the table earlier. And he was just like, "All right, but don't stress yourself out too much, okay?"
There is a thumbs up.
uh,
And then like I just like there's a cartoonish kind of pull pop motion as Riku kind of just pulls himself back up into a sitting position.
yeah, he has definitely made sure that the table is positioned in such a way that Riku doesn't have to get out of bed to use it.
Mhm.
Um, and so he kind of just takes his little bag and uh, dumps out all of the stuff onto the table.
So there's a very appreciative whistle as Riku just kind of eyes the horde of shiny new baubles and things
Yeah.
for bracelet making.
He gives it one last shake and two little butterscotch candies fall out.
Riku's eyes are immediately shining.
He is handed one of them.
He is going to nom on that candy.
Sometimes being swarmed by grandmas has its perks.
Yep.
And so he kind of pulls over a craft book and kind of starts flipping through it slowly so that Riku can see, like, all right, what do you want to do?
Um, well, we could make friendship bracelets. That would be cool, because then each of us will have one, and that way, if we're going on different adventures, we can still, think about each other, and stuff. And he kind of devolves into mumbles, and like
Oh,
you can kind of see his ears turning red.
oh, you want to roll an insight on Camille?
Okay, this insight is a +3.
9.
9.
Yeah,
Dice parser, why?
this dice parser is being a bully today. Uh,
Yep.
yes, Camille smiles at you, um, and he's just like, "That sounds like a great idea."
Riku's not like he's still kind of got his ears all red and stuff, but he's beaming at you, Camille, just like, oh, Camille thinks it's a good idea. Yay!
Oh, I hold Riku so gentle.
Just Riku is very genuinely happy that that Camille thought that that idea was a good idea.
I'm holding him. Uh, but yeah, so Camille kind of just nods and starts kind of organizing the threads a little bit. Like, all right,
Hmm.
then I guess we. Okay, how the hell? What? One moment. As I figure out how
Hmm.
you make friendship bracelets. Uh,
Well, like for some friendship bracelets, it's kind of like weaving it together, like braiding it.
mhm.
So, like, we could argue that it's like sleight of hand since it's like a dex-based thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Camille kind of just kind of flips to the section on friendship bracelets because, of course, the grandmas would give him a book on friendship bracelets. Um, and it's just like, all right, then I guess we'll pick what design you want to do and the colors, and you can get started.
Hmm. And Riku, are they making the will they be making the bracelet that represents them or represents the other?
I was thinking they probably make one that represents the other because friendship.
Mhm. Okay, then, Riku picks out some, red and orange threads, and, he's gonna start weaving.
Oh, all right. And Camille, he's gonna kind of he's gonna think about this a bit more than he has to
Mhm.
before he kind of takes out like a brown thread and then a collection of like green and teal for his.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he got a nat 1, so basically, like, what happens is he's got, like, the little taped bit on the table, and he's got his thread, and he's trying to do the braid, but, Camille, do you wanna roll, perception real quick?
Sure. Am I gonna be bullied? Just a little bit. At least I still have
Okay.
my bullshit modifiers to make that 5 a 14.
Yeah, with that 14, you notice that Riku's hands are kind of they have, like, a mild tremor in them, and, his movements, like, they're sure, but you realize that his hands are kind of fumbling a tiny bit.
Oh,
So what ends up happening is it turns into this giant knot,
oh.
and he just kinda sits back and, like, his brows are furrowed and goes, "Hmm."
Camille, he kind of puts down. He hadn't really gotten started too much yet because he was overthinking things, as detectives tend to do. Um,
Mhm.
and he's he kind of shifts a bit closer to Riku, like, "Hey, it's okay."
Yeah, but I can usually I'm usually better at this.
Camille's kind of got a soft expression on his face. I look over at his lore, um, as he's just like, "Well, I'll have one moment while I tried to figure out how the hell he's gonna phrase it." uh,
Mhm.
it's like, it's okay if usually you're better at things. Sometimes you can't always be as good as what you think your baseline is, but on those days you just have to take a different approach.
But Riku kinda kicks his foot at the bed a little bit and, like, resettles and kinda just goes, "But it's hard when everyone has to pick up your slack and just you want to help, but you can't."
And Camille nods at that, and he's just like, well, can't, even if we were perfect, which, by the way, no one is, well, even if we were perfect, you'd still need someone else to pick up your slack. It's. We're, we're social beings. We weren't made to do everything by ourselves.
Riku kinda is very visibly thinking about Camille's words, and he just kind of nods quietly.
And Camille, uh, well, he's just, uh, smiles a little bit at that. Like, I mean, I couldn't even move that table by myself. I didn't get the supplies by myself.
Yeah, um, it's it's just hard when you think you can do a thing and then it turns out you can't.
You wanna roll insight?
Yes, dice purser, please be nice to me today. 3. Yes,
Eh.
dice purser, thank you. For the listening audience, that's an 18.
Yeah. As And Camille's actually not trying to hide anything for once. Uh, as you look over at him, you can see from his expression and the kind of softness that he has while he thinks over your words that, like, he understands. He also has dealt with, not being able to do things you could usually do, or thought you could do, or perhaps used to be able to do. Like, he's been there himself. And,
Who sees that, and he kind of just gently bumps Camille's shoulder companionably.
yeah, Camille bumps him back. Like, it, it is frustrating, and it's not a good feeling, I'll admit. But he kind
Good to
of,
have help.
yeah, he gives a little shrug, like, helping people is just what we do. People like to help.
Riku nods. Yeah, it's what makes people good.
And Camille nods at that. Like, if none of us ever needed help, ever, then the world would be a much colder place, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. It, did you know that the first sign of humanity is when people develop the tools to help with medicine?
And,
Like, archaeology wise.
alright, you know what? Let's roll. Let's roll history and see. One, he actually did not know that. uh, yes, Camille kind of, he looks over at you, and that's generally a new piece of information to him. So he kind of shakes his head, like, I did not know that.
Riku just nods very vigorously and just goes, "Yeah, one of my professors, mm, one of my tutors told me about that."
And Camille is just, he absolutely noticed a slip up that big, but he'll let it rest for now. Um, and he's just like, well, hey, I mean, that proves it. We're here to help and to be helped.
Riku nods vigorously and then looks down at his knotted piece of bracelet and then goes, "Hmm, I'm gonna try this again, but if it turns out badly again, would you mind helping me with mine?"
And Camille nods at that with a smile on his face, like, of course I would be happy to help. And he kind of thinks for a moment before grabbing a pillow and kind of dragging it over, like, here, maybe this will help with the trembles a bit.
Yeah, that actually is a good idea. Uh, and with that, Riku doesn't have disadvantage on this roll. An 18! Yay!
Yay!
Camille helped! He's gonna do his arts and crafts with a pillow on his resting his hands on a pillow for the rest of this session.
I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. It offers support.
Yep. And
uh,
sometimes that's all you need.
yeah. And so Camille smiles at that. He's he's glad that worked. Uh,
Riku's just very involved now with the task, and like he's got his tongue poking out a tiny bit, just kind of like in concentration, just doing a blip.
oh, that is adorable. Uh, Camille has a particularly fond smile on his face as he goes to do his own craft.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see. He has a better sleight of hand modifier now, but okay. All right. Flex, why don't you?
For
That
the
is,
listening audience, that's a 25.
yeah. Modified 25.
Yep. So yeah, I feel like both of them managed to make their bracelets without any more trouble.
Which is very good. Uh, and I think now that the weaving is done, Camille kind of uh, he holds it up more than a little proudly, like,
I feel like it's got like little sparkles just from how well he did.
yes,
Like just the sparkles surrounding it, like around like just kind of like that like trio of sparkles kind of on each side.
he tapped into his anime heritage.
Hmm.
And so he kind of sets that down near Riku, and then kind of goes like, "How are you doing?"
I'm I'm about done, and he just kind of like I feel like he like one of the reasons why he got an 18 and stuff is that like been very meticulous about like where the where the pattern goes and everything, and like now he's just barely tying it off.
Oh, Camille, he smiles at it like, "That looks really good, Riku."
Yeah, yours looks great.
And
Um, I picked red and orange and yellow because your string is that.
Camille tilts his head at that, like, "My string?"
Mm-hmm. Um, your connection to me. Uh, one sec. Uh, and he uh pauses for a moment and then goes, "Don't freak out. Everything is fine." And then his hand kind of clips through his sternum, and he pulls out a little orb.
All right.
Uh,
He's still gonna have to make a whiz save at that, but
yeah.
I'll give him advantage since he was warned.
Hmm.
Okay, both times it was an 8, so
How about you roll one more time just to see if it gives you a different number?
4.
No.
So he's
Okay, and 11's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So I kind of imagine like it's honestly the bit where you know in Tangled where Rapunzel tells Flynn not to freak out when she heals his hand.
yeah. Uh, it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Okay. It does take him a little bit to recover, but he does, cause like Riku pretty obviously is not a tin body. So yeah, and he kind of would he roll insight? No, no. Would it be perception or investigation on the orb?
Uh, if he's like very obviously taking a closer look, I would say investigation. But if he's just kind of staying his distance, I would say perception.
He's a detective. He doesn't care about personal boundaries. He's gonna go for investigation. Um, he has a certain librarian friend who he has tried to bug at least once. Uh, alright, 17.
Okay, with a 17, you visibly see the spider webbing of cracks alongside this orb. It's kind of glowing a very bright light teal that kind of matches Riku's eyes and freckles. But what Riku is drawing your attention to, besides the fact that this thing is very obviously been through hell and back, is that there is a string that kind of is very ethereal and uh, glowing in of its own right. And like it's very thin, but like it looks pretty strong still, despite how thin it is, just because it's a string.
Mhm.
Um, but it is, like Riku said, the same colors of the bracelet, except it with that 17, you look kind of like you blink, you squint, and then there's like it almost looks like wisps of flame instead of like just glow around it. And it's going towards you, Camille.
Yeah, he is quite obviously staring at that like, okay, I can see what you mean by connection.
Hmm. It's, well, where I'm from, it's where friends are. If you if you become friends with someone, you become connected. It's not like I can really like feel your feelings or read your thoughts or anything like that. It just means that there's an emotional connection to us. Um, I have a connection with my mom too. It's one of the reasons why I know why she's not dead. But yeah, we have a connection, and I think it's really cool. And I wanted to show you.
And Camille, uh, he nods, and let me do an insight on him,
Are you asking me to do insight?
if you want to.
Okay. Okay, dice parser, please give me the insight. 13.
13. Um, okay, well, he was being really obvious about it, so you can see that he genuinely thinks that is pretty cool. Uh, and he is actually really, really curious about it. Because he is a simple detective. He sees something he doesn't know and he wants to know.
Mhm. Yeah, and, Riku, is kinda just grinning at you, Camille, as he kinda just notices the, curiosity, and he kind of, but then his grin kinda softens and goes, "I trust you, Camille, so that's also another reason why I wanted to show you, 'cause, this" and he kinda gestures with his free hand, "this is my soul."
Oh boy. And Bill kind of nods at that with a slight twitch of his brow.
As long as I can remember, I've been able to kind of do this. Um, but well, since it's not an emergency, I had to put it back now. But like, and he just kind of mutters that underneath his breath, and very easily is able to kind of clip his hand back through, and the orb is back safely inside his person.
Hmm. Yeah. does once he learned that it was Riku's soul, he was a little bit tense, but now he's relaxed that it's back inside and safe because that doesn't seem that doesn't seem very safe, but okay. Uh yeah, he just nods at that like, well, that, that seems really cool. And I'm rattling him around because come on, get your brain back to the friendship bracelets. Uh, but yeah, he's eternally he very much is wants to know more and is trying to piece together the cracks with his condition.
Well, how about roll medicine?
All right. Okay, is that a nine? Pretty sure that's a nine. So 15.
Okay, with a 15, you're able to kind of like have that light bulb moment of, oh, cracks in soul condition. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. Just gonna once again file that away for later. He can worry about that later.
Yeah, Riku just kind of holds up the bracelet that he was making and just kind of just he's holding up the bracelet now that like he's kind of given the symbolism of the bracelet colors to you, and he looks so proud of
Oh,
himself.
yeah. Camille does smile fondly at that, like, well, you definitely got the colors right. Uh,
Hmm.
he kind of holds up his own, like, uh, I hope I got the colors okay too.
They're really pretty, and I think you did good.
He nods at that and thinks for a moment, cause you know he's having a little idea, and he's like, well, if you're gonna put something so personal into these bracelets, well, I might as well do the same. And he reaches over to the metal and kind of pulls out two plates and is just, all right, I need your I need your birthday and your age.
I'm 14, and I was born on March 19th.
And Camille's absolutely filing that away for other reasons. Uh, and he kind of just nods, like, he nods and is like, alright, well, give me a moment and let's do the mental math game for you, Camille. Okay, yeah. It does take him a while because it is, like, a whole lot of stuff to sort through. But, after a few minutes, he kind of snaps his fingers, like, oh, you're born under a new moon.
Is a very visible pause as Riku processes that, and then his mouth kind of goes into kind of a setted. His face kind of grows neutral, which is weird because he's usually almost always smiling. And there's just a very quiet, "Oh,
He's gonna do insight on that.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
all right."
That's a 24.
Okay, with a 24 on insight, that is there is a sense of loss in Riku's face and tone as he said, "Oh." Uh, you get the feeling that that has an incredible symbolism to Riku and his past, and you also get the feeling that he kind of has just kind of gone mentally, "Oh, that makes sense. Huh."
Yeah, Camille was probably just about to reach for his tinker tools, but uh he stops at that like, well, uh if you don't want to, I don't have to.
No, it just someone I knew in the past was really heavily associated to the moon when I knew him. So the fact that it was a new moon when I was born, it makes sense.
Camille kind of gives uh Camille gives Riku a soft smile. You can roll insight on him if you want to.
Yeah, Riku's gonna roll insight. 14.
Yeah. I That's you can tell there's a little bit of a nostalgic tone there. Uh, as he's just, you know, I once had someone important to me with pretty strong moon associations too.
You did?
And he nods and he's just like, well, I used to uh, spend a lot of time outside of Einquell. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's just get the deception modifier out real quick because he is dancing around truth in this. Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll insight to see if Riku can suss that out or not.
No.
Yeah, nope. I was like, the only way I was gonna beat that was a nat 20, but I had to try. That's a 7 for the audience listening.
Yeah, it's worth trying, but unfortunately, sometimes it be like that. Uh, and Camille, yeah, he's just gonna carefully dance his way through this story. Uh, as he's like, yeah, I used to spend a lot of time outside of Vanquil. Uh, there was this uh, country that had a. It's got a lot of moon associations. The moon is really important in the culture, and I knew someone from that culture, so he had really strong moon associations too.
That's that's cool. Riku does not elaborate on how his person was associated with the moon.
And that's fine. Well, kind of just gives a little shrug. Like, So, I guess the moon ended up pretty important to me too.
Mhm. People are important. Connections are important. So I'm glad we're connected, Camille. I'm happy you're my friend.
Yeah, Camille, he gives you a smile like, I'm happy to call you my friend too.
There is a very visible happy wiggle from
Oh,
Riku.
yeah. Okay, let's. I'm gonna do another roll for this one because I'm gonna
Mhm.
give Riku a chance, and a chance he will get. Because that's 13.
Okay, let's see if Riku will be able to beat a. Hey, that's an 18.
Hey! Yeah, there is something a little bit uh, bittersweet as Camille smiles at you. Uh, because I look over at his lore, but he is definitely genuinely happy to, you know you.
Riku kind of just reaches over and squeezes Camille's hand and goes, um, I hope you get to see your person again. The one associated with the moon. Because people aren't gone forever.
Yeah,
Even even if they're gone here, you can still see them again. Eventually.
Camille gives a nod that, like, yeah, I know how to find them. Uh, so I will see them again.
Riku nods and just kind of gives Camille's hand another squeeze and just is like, I'm glad. He's he's not prying on why Camille can't see his person right now.
Yeah,
I'm just like I'm staring at him going like, do you want to pry more? No? Okay.
the
I
free
guess we're
lore
leaving it
quota has
here
been
right
reached.
now.
uh, and Camille's gonna first do a quick insight just to make sure that, mostly to see whether Riku has a positive opinion of of his moon person or not. Uh, oh, okay. He's gonna fly into this. He's gonna fly into this blind.
Okay, with a 12, you it's not hard to see really because Riku's not really hiding it. Uh, he's wistful and sad, but in regards to Riku's own moon person, Riku loved them. And you get the feeling that Riku can no longer see them.
uh, and Camille's gonna squeeze Riku's hand back, like, hey, like you said, it may not be for a while, but you'll see them again too, one day.
Riku looks at you, Camille, and like he looks kind of slightly surprised, but then his face turns into a smile and goes, yeah, I know. And no matter how many lifetimes I go through, I'm going to find them eventually.
Camille nods at that, like, I know you will. And he kind of turns back to the metal plate, like, do you want to know what a new moon means?
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
Uh, Camille asks, like, do you want to know what a new moon means?
Riku tilts his head, and then like there's like an eager kind of little scoot, scoot, scoot closer to Camille, because yes, yes, he would like to know.
Yeah, and Camille does smile at those antics as he's like, uh, well, a new moon in uh, in that culture, it represents a blank slate. It's basically it's basically saying that uh, your destiny is what you make of it. So if you want to see that person again and you work towards it, I'm sure you will.
Okay, I'm just gonna really quickly roll a 24 to see what time it is, because if it's a certain time, I am gonna do a gag really quick. Darn. Okay,
Um,
that's like noon right now, but you know what? Peck the dice. Let's say that they've been working on like the bracelets for a while, so like the moon is starting to rise. Riku kind of scrambles out of bed and throws open the curtain and kind of just stares with his hands on his hips at this moon that's in the sky and goes, I hear what you're saying. And then like he just kind of whirls, turns on his heel, and walks back to the bed and just flops down as if nothing really happened. Like that this was not out of the ordinary for him to do, to just randomly yell at the moon.
yeah, you do get a surprised little laugh out of Camille. 'Cause sometimes you do gotta yell at the moon, I guess. uh, and he's probably hung around Riku enough to not question things like this.
Yeah, no, like this is very much in character for Riku.
Yeah, and after that, he kind of lets out a fond sigh um and starts working on making a little design for. Uh, Actually, first he needs to take out his tinker tools. Okay, no fumble today. So he takes it out, and now let's see. Proficiency in his tinker tools, but so would that be intelligence plus tinker tool proficiency or what? I forget
uh,
how it works.
Honestly, I don't remember either, so let's just go with that and roll.
Yeah. There's okay. Choo, 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 choo.
Oh, nice. That is a modified 24 for the audience.
So he it does take a while because like it is metal work, but he does make a few little indents and starts working away. And as a last bit of polish, he covers up the metal plate. And when he uncovers it, it's got a light teal glow. um,
Riku is just like staring at it and like, oh, that's so cool.
and Camille kind of just uh, smiles, and the design is that of a new moon plus a few little stars around it. And he's just like, here, you can attach this to your bracelet.
Uh, Camille, how about you make a deck save really quick?
Oh boy. Let's see.
Yeah, you don't get, like, knocked off the bed by how forceful the hug is, but you're now just in this very exuberant hug.
uh, that does take Camille a bit by surprise, but he does. After a moment, he kind of settles into the hug because, yep, this sure is happening now.
Yep, Camille, you are being hugged.
Maybe gives Riku a little pat.
Just thinks, "That is just the coolest thing ever."
Yeah. Camille kind of lets out a little laugh, like, alright. He's not gonna try to remove himself from the hug. He has -2 strength, and I look over at Riku's modifier. He's not getting out of this, whether he wants to or not.
Yeah, well, like, if Camille started giving the indication of, enough hug, okay, I'm done," Riku would let go, but he does, like, kinda just let go, and, he's just grinning really widely, and he's just really, really, really visibly happy with what Camille has done. Just man, Camille is so cool in Riku's eyes.
The coolest 6-year-old on the block.
Yep.
Uh, and so Camille's smiling like at him, like, "I take it you like it?"
It's it's really great.
Camille nods like, "That's good to hear." And he goes to attach it. It's probably just a regular old sleight of hand.
Mhm.
Oof. It's it's his turn to be bad.
Whoops. Well, I just imagine that, like, it's just really hard to get it to stick properly, so it's just, like, awkwardly sliding out of place.
Yeah.
So
Oopsie doopsie.
Riku's just gonna kind of, like, hold it for a second, so, like, if you want, you can re-roll with the help action.
Yeah. But hey, remember that thing about helping others and being helped? Uh,
Yep.
that's a 4.
Say back the dice and say that with, like, each other like, both the boys working with each other, they managed to stick the little plates onto the bracelet.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, they got it. It's good now.
Yeah, and just man, like, just Riku holds Camille so soft, he loves it, he's had a lot of fun.
Mhm. And Camille kind of uh he holds out the other plate after the round of hugs and putting it on Riku. Like, alright, do you want to give it a try?
Mm, okay, I don't know how good I'll be, but I
Uh,
can try.
And Camille grins like, it's okay, I'll help you.
Help action, my beloved.
Yeah. Help action is very good. Uh, so yeah, he slides the plate over as well as the tools, and you have help for this.
Okay, what do I roll again?
Let's see. It would be your intelligence modifier, and I think just that because you don't have proficiency in Tinker's tools.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a +2 for
Uh,
I think his hands are just a bit too shaky to actually properly make it a neat pattern like he wants, so he just kinda sets it down, kinda stretches out his hands a little bit, kind of rubs them a little and goes, I don't think I can actually do it."
And Camille gives him a little pat, like, well, that's okay. Uh,
It was still fun to try.
and Camille nods at that, like, of course. You never know if you're gonna be any good at something until you try. And even then, usually the first pass isn't the best. You,
Mhm. Riku nods sagely at that.
uh, uh, Camille is currently remember his own first attempts at things. Uh, there's a surprising amount of explosions involved. Riku can probably see a highlight reel because, like, the thought bubble above his head is just showing it.
I feel like Riku's just kinda looking at this kind of like with an, "Oh, I am mildly concerned, but, Camille seems fine?" Question
it's
mark?
it's fine. They were ruled a funny explosion, so he's not allowed to be seriously hurt.
Like, yeah, like, there's, like, a mild expression of concern before, like, it kinda clicks that they're rule of funny, and, like, he just kind of relaxes with a kind of, like, exhaled smile.
There's a reason why he is a fire element. And so he kind of, after a moment, he kind of waves the thought bubble off, like, well, that's neither here nor there. I, but here, I'll try and I can fix up the design for you. And,
"Okay, here," and he just kinda slides it over.
okay, let's not be bullied this time. Okay, that's a 13. That is probably fine.
Yeah, no, like, considering the fact that Camille is experienced with this kind of stuff, I think he's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. And so he kind of does the same thing with uh, covering up the plate, and uh, when he takes his hand off, it's glowing in a little crescent moon pattern.
Just Riku excitedly just clapped because, it's so cool!
Yeah. And while Riku's is glowing a light teal, and Camille's is a light yellow color.
Mhm. Just man, like, Riku's not Ghiblian, but he's got the little, like, awestruck sparkles anyway because I think it's cute.
It's very cute. And so he kind of just goes like, and there you have it.
Like, just Riku's just, like, oohing and awing as he looks at, like, both bracelets and just, yeah, there's a few happy flaps.
Oh, yeah, Camille's smile. This is just too cute. Uh, it's just like if you want to ask him about his own moon, then you can. But for now,
Mhm,
uh, he's actually going to try and tie the bracelet onto his wrist himself, which is not. I'm gonna roll sleight of hand at disadvantage because he's doing it with his non-dominant hand. Because
mm,
his left wrist already has his watch on it.
mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he had a 5 and a 17.
Well, with a 12, I think that's fine. Um, like, I think it takes a while because like, Riku, at that same time as he's trying to tie the bracelet on asks what it means, so I feel like he got distracted, and that's why it takes him a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Camille kind of pauses a little bit and he's like, "Oh, uh, I was born under a waning crescent. Uh, there wasn't really a lot of. It's the last step before a new moon. Um, and that one's all about rebirth and persistence, basically."
There's just, like, odd sparkles and oohing and, "Oh, that's so cool!"
And Camille, he's just a little bit flustered at how much praise he's getting right now. But after that explanation, he does finally manage to tie it.
Just man, just Riku's very, very happy, and, like, he's just admiring his bracelet and just ah!
Oh.
He's, like, doing happy wiggles, he's just very visibly happy.
Yeah, and he'll kind of just. He's got a little smile on his face because this is cute, and he's absolutely not in brother mode. What are you talking about?
Just Riku's just so happy, and he's got a cool bracelet, and he's with his friend, and just man, turned out to be a good day,
Yeah.
despite how things have been going.
Yes, that's fine. Uh, I think probably at this moment, uh, there's the age-old trope of the well-timed stomach growl because you mentioned the moon being up, and I don't think either of them have eaten since breakfast.
Yeah, no, I can honestly picture both of them accidentally hyper-focused on this project.
They got lost in the sauce. Uh,
I picture, like, both of them just kinda look at each other and then at their stomachs and then go, "Oops." But then, like, Riku's just like, well, the the inn provides, food, so if we wanted dinner, we could get some."
and Camille nods at that, like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Uh, wanna order room service?
"Mhm, yeah, let's order room service. Oh, that's gonna be so fun!"
uh,
And considering the fact that we have been going for, like, an hour and a half, I could say we could end it there with the boys, getting dinner, ordering room service, and just hanging out a little bit more.
yeah. Uh, okay, I'm kind of tempted to roll D2 to see if it'll turn into a sleepover.
Mhm.
Alright, so that it does indeed turn into a sleepover.
Yes, good. I honestly picture, like, they eat, and then both of them just end up piled onto the bed and just out.
Yeah, it is late, and they both need a whole lot of sleep.
Yep. So they are just out for the count.
They sure are.
So
Yeah.
I will say that, like, Riku's asleep, but he has a smile on his face because he is
Oh.
a very happy being.
Camille also has a teeny little smile on his face. They are friends now. It's
Yes,
official.
yes, they have friendship bracelets to prove it.
And they are very special friendship bracelets. The most special friendship bracelets.
Yes, they're so cool.
Alright.
Mm.
But Yeah,
Anyways, I think we could end it here.
yep. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Mira, for joining me today. This has been a really fun and cute FPS.
It's been fantastic. I have had a lot of fun. This was such like, even though we dipped mildly into angst and stuff, but we it was really good.
It very much was. I'm just I hold these kids very gentle.
Same.
But
Yeah, thanks for listening, you guys.
yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.